up next, we're going to be talking a little bit about the PQ. We don't have a lot of lists to go through, but there's a couple of interesting lists that I wanted to cover real quick and kind of go through with everybody. So stay tuned. We are going to do our Chaos of War segment. All right, welcome to our Chaos of War. This is where we talk PQ stuff, what decks made it, what decks didn't. We're getting to the end of PQ season. We are going to still cover the decks because, you know, we got to kind of talk a little bit about them. But like what I really wanted to do is just kind of look at the overall meta and kind of see where we're at. So basically this weekend there was, let's see here, there was about 11, there was 14 PQs this weekend. No more Han Blues though, Alex. Like you would think after your success with it, we'd have saw a few more Han Blues. But when we kind of look at Australia, we see another Han Yellow. There is an Obi Blue that they don't have a deck list for, which I would love to go through just because I think that's like hilarious that Obi's now showing back up again. And I do wonder if it's because with the higher amount of volume of Hans and a little bit less Sabine and a little bit less of these aggro decks, is Obi now like a very like becoming actually really, really viable because it's some of a direct counter to Tarkin Town. But we had another Sabine win, the other Australian one. So they took all the aggro. A Thrawn Blue showed up. And we aren't going to go through the Thrawn Blue list because JJ would spend 7 hours on it. Like it's silly. Like, just so you know, like it is like, oh my gosh, crazy. I don't know how it made top 8, but it did. We're not gonna go through it. We had Django Cad. We're now starting to see Han Red show up a little bit. Han Red won that one. Another Tarkin Town. So we're kind of seeing. We're seeing a few more Asages. I think that Asajj deck is kind of getting ironed out a little bit more, and I think. I don't care enough about it right now to go into it. I think once we get through this PQ season, I think Asajj actually has a place next set with some of the cards that we're seeing be revealed. I really genuinely think there's a little bit more to Asajj. So buy your Asajj showcases now, folks, if you want a cheaper showcase. Another Han 1 yellow, Sabine. Here's one. This is a 23 player. This is Texas. Like, if I had known there's only going to be 23 players, we should have flown to Texas and played in this event, Alex. 23 players and a mall ECL wins that. Absolutely. If I find the small ECL list, we will cover it. I could not find it. That's crazy, right? Mall ECL.
Mall ECL beat out the Kira 30 health green.
Yep. Don't know how. No idea how that happens, but.
And that Kira either beat out a different Kira ECL or that Maul just beat 2 Kiras in a row, which is also crazy to me.
Yeah, that should probably not happen. But we don't know the list, so I don't know. You know what? I didn't watch the YouTube video. Maybe we'll watch the YouTube video later. Let's see if we can find the list. Another Django Tarkin Town. We did have a Cad Green list. This one was kind of similar to the list that we saw Damien play. A little bit, except for he's running ECL. This is running that full 30 health base. I think this needs to be on the radar. We need to, because it's basically a then there was 2 of them deck is what this is. So it's I'm going to cheat things out early, big, and tell you to deal with it. We also see a Fennec Tarkin Town show up in there, so that's really cool. I like seeing Fennec show up. I do like playing Fennec so much.
Yeah, that one is very, very much like a slight iteration off like the one that Crispy was playing.
Yeah, it's probably from the same person
original,
in it.
Like set 2 Crispy. Yeah.
Crispy's been the one that's been doing a lot of that. So, we have more Sabine that we don't care about. I'll be happy when Sabine's gone. Here's an Alaska one that 11 players played in.
X-Wing. So when they used to gather data for X-Wing tournaments, Alaska always had just the most insane, wildest lists. Like stuff that you're just like, dude, I don't even know how someone even came up with this. This is wild stuff. So I'm really hoping that's also the same thing But judging by Sabine ACL and Boss Green and Valve Yellow, it isn't, probably. But in my heart, the Alaskan meta still holds true as just the wildest, stupidest decks you can see.
So I'm looking up a flight right now.
It's way too much money. It's like $300.
Nope. We'll just say we're returning. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm looking this up because we made a mistake. I think we should have gone here. If I had known this, like, look at this Sabine ECL, like Sabine, Help got into number 2. All right, it's a lot.
11% PQ. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, okay, that's more than like. Yeah, never mind. It's like $1,700. I'm good on that. Anyway, let's keep moving. Tanner's getting the side direct. We got another Django showing up there. Han Red again. Here's our IG88. We are going to cover this list because I'm going to make JJ cover this list, and then JJ's going to tell us how the hell this list like functions. I guess. I don't know. I don't understand this list. I looked at it last night. I don't get it. Another Han 1 green. That's nice to see actually Han 1 green winning out over the Han yellow. I would rather see more Han greens than Han yellows. Boss Green took it down in Jacksonville, Florida. Did Crispy play in that Jacksonville one?
I don't know. Yeah, he's been having kind of a tough schedule between work and stuff, so he's not as available. But he could have.
Well, that one had 3 boss in it, so there you go. Then we actually see a Tarkin Blue win one. That's pretty cool to see a Tarkin Blue actually win out, especially over a Sabine ECL. That's kind of wild to me. But so to begin with, why don't we cover the Iden Versio yellow list? I don't know. Have we covered one of these before?
Not the yellow Iden.
Yeah.
Okay. Alex, what is this Iden yellow list? This made top 2 in Bisping. We've seen this kind of come up a little bit. I know a buddy of mine, Sam, had been running this as well. I believe it was Sam that was running this.
I was gonna say, I think like one of your locals like runs like Iden yellow or messes around with it.
Yeah, I think it's Sam. I can't remember for sure if it was Sam.
So, anyways, this yellow Iden is you have just a 30 elf. Like no one runs Jeddah City. Tragically, you got triple enticing reward, 1 restock, triple top target, double bounty posting that lets you dig for bounties, which your enticing reward and top targets are. You got triple Pershing, triple entrench, triple perilous position, triple the client, double merciless contest, triple power of the dark side, triple Lieutenant Chilton, double Fell the Dragon, triple Takedown, triple Vigilance, triple Vanquish, triple Bounty Hunter Crew, that's the one that lets you get the event back up from your discard pile, double Snoke, triple Super Laser Blast, and double Avenger. In the side, you have 2 more restocks, just in case, I guess. Triple Bazine, 1 copy of Make an Opening, triple Calculated Lethality,
Yep.
which I haven't seen in like any deck. That's the one that just like kills all the upgrades on the unit and gives you experience for it. And then you have a 3rd Snoke. That's just, hard control Iden. Just kill and heal. And then the enticing rewards are actually like super underrated card. I love those. Just grab 2 non-unit cards, which is huge for a control deck. All you have to do is kill a unit. That's not hard in this deck. And obviously the top targets and the clients and all that help immensely. And then just being able to recycle things like Vigilance with the Bounty Hunter Crew. Just grab it back from your discard pile and keep milling if you need. And then,
Super good.
as you notice, it has 2 space units as the Avenger.
That's it.
Yep. And so presumably most of the harder removal is geared towards killing the space units there between like the entrenched and the perilous positions and the vanquishes. Interesting that they don't even bother to have Rivals Fall at all. Not even like in the side. They want triple calculator lethality and an extra make an opening, I guess. Two more restocks just in case.
And no confiscates, nothing. Like,
yeah, it's actually a little bit weird they're not having like a search your feelings kind of thing. So when you restock, you can like put your vigilances and the restock at the bottom of the deck, and then search your feelings, which lets you shuffle the deck so you get it back theoretically faster than cycling through your entire deck again.
Yeah, and I kind of understand the restock a little bit. I'm not super sold that I need 3 of them, but like I know why they have them in the sideboard why they want them, because it helps with the Chilson numbers. They are meeting what I would consider the bare minimum for Chilson with this deck. But this, like, can I just throw this in Thrawn? Like, JJ, can we just run this in Thrawn?
Like, you don't get the healing off Iden.
Yeah,
I suppose. So, all right, it's an interesting dex. I want to know why they have triple calculated lethality, though.
Yeah,
they didn't want the confiscate,
I guess. Up next is Cad's Adventures, is what they call this deck. And this is a Cadbane yellow deck. And so Sam and Trinity, we're gonna let you review this deck. I have not seen anybody run yellow Cadbane since like the beginning of the set. Remember when people were running it, because was it Jeremy who was running that? I don't remember. There's somebody at FFG that was running a yellow Cadbane. I just haven't seen it since, but they made top 8, so.
Yeah, so I find that oh, that's why. Okay, I forgot Hot Shot Blaster. When you smuggle it, it's cunning.
Yellow.
So they got 2 copies of Hot Shot Blaster, 3 Monk Clunkies, 3 Greedos, 2 Shoot First, 3 Cartel Spacer, and 3 Cloud Riders, as well as 2 Bazine, which I find a little interesting. I would have done 3, but I see why. 2 A New Hopes, 2 Relentless Pursuit, 2, now there are 2 of them, like a lot of the 2s. 3 Boba Fett's, 2 Black Sun, 3 Cunning, 3 Forlom, 3 Jabba, 3 Bosk, 3 Zuckus, 2 Emphasis, 2 Xandu Bloods, I know I'm saying that wrong, and 2 Cad Bane units. But yeah, it's a lot of, I don't know, I'm seeing a bunch of discard with Bazine, bouncing cards like either Cad Bane if they've already rescued their unit, then play a new adventure, put it right back down and capture other things, or now there are 2 of them, like get the Zuckus out early or an Enfys Nest, and that can be insanely powerful. I've had it played against me, and I feel like the only real reason that they're running double yellow is for a new adventure and Cunning, because those are the only 2 double yellow cards that it has, except for 2 Bodies in this. Oh, I forgot to say the sideboard. 3 Breaking In, 2 Bodies, 1 more Black Sun, 2 Waylays, and 2 Fennec. Fennec is also a really weird choice because of its ambush and non-attack, but I feel like there are a lot of stronger units than it, but it looks like it can be a really good deck. What do you think?
I agree. I'm not a huge double color player, so I'm not necessarily too keen on it, but it does look pretty decent from at least the list. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like for a double yellow, this definitely has a good amount of aggressiveness, between the ambushes that you get from some of your higher costed cards with Forlom and Bosk and Zuckus. You do also have a good amount of different events that you could take advantage with Bosk, and then of course Jabba the Hutt allowing you to play those events out cheaper there. You got a good balance between the 2 of like events and having ground units out there, so you can easily take out the necessary obstacles out of your path between Sentinel units to attack your opponent's base and clear the board as you need to, and still put in a decent amount of damage on there. And then, of course, Cad Bane's ability just constantly pinging damage onto units that are left over just really helps you just control it. I would like to see a little bit more space units out there, because really the only thing you have on here are just the spacers, the Sentinel Black Suns, and then the Xanadu Blood. So you probably will get overwhelmed on the space side, but if you can push enough damage through on the ground, then it really doesn't matter. But yeah, a decent deck.
Yeah. Just thinking about like someone dropping now there are two of them and then dropping an Enfys Nest just really is that's rough.
I've had
That
it
is rough.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean just because that's gonna kill whatever you have. Like, it doesn't always trigger, but like next turns when you're dropping like 4 Loms and Bosks, they're just gonna kill everything and like not take damage. Or your Cloud Riders even. Like there's a lot of ambush in the deck, so seems like a pretty solid tempo kind of deck.
Yeah, I'm a little
Yeah.
surprised we don't have any of the Syndicate lackeys. I think Syndicate lackeys would fit really well into this deck too.
And only
All right,
two
well,
now, there are few of them.
let's keep moving, I guess. So the other, oh man, this is that CAD green. So this is the CAD green. Essentially, this is from the person that won the tournament. I don't know why the one green or the one little lady is hidden, but she is.
It's
Yep.
Bazine. Yeah.
Zines were hiding on me. So this one is like 3 McClunky, 3 of the Hot Shot Blasters, 3 Cartel Spacers, 3 of the Crafties, 3 Cloud Rider, 2 No Good to Me Dead, 3 Bazine, 3 Resupply, 3 of the Super Laser Techs, 3. Now there are 2 of them, 3 Forlom, 3 Bosk, 3 Syndicates, 2 Overwhelming, 2 Emphies, 3 Maul, 3 Cad Banes, and 2 Lonely Walkers there. In the sideboard, they were very gutsy and threw in some traitorresses. 2 Palps Return, 2 Choose Your Sides, and 2 Relentless and 2 Devastators, and no Change of Hearts. There's no Change of Hearts in here. This is driving me nuts. So, like, Change of Hearts, 1 more cost. Do not just get rid of those like traitorresses and give me a Change of Hearts, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, 3 space units in the main deck. That's it.
Yeah.
It's wild to me. Like, God, what do you do against like a space heavy Django deck? Do you have to like just try to exhaust them the whole time? Like rip the cards with Bazine before they even play them? I don't know.
McClunky work. Just the McClunkies is what it can be used. You can play a Cartel Spacer exhaust and then McClunky it in the same turn.
Sure.
OB.
And that's that you're kind of doing. I think that's what you're doing until you can either ramp, or if you don't draw your ramp and you're playing the now there are 2 of them, and bringing out like your heavier stuff, because you could bring out your Cad Bane pretty early actually with that, and you can bring out and then you can drop your your Overwhelming on one of them, and you could just go aggro towards the end of the game. So
And what if they play like a Fez Fire Spray?
you're just you better hope you have a No Good to Me Dead. 'Cause you ain't got
Yeah,
Waylay.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's the other weird thing. It's like there's no waylay in the side, and I like Choose Sides. Don't get me wrong. It's like here, take this Bazine that I don't need anymore, right? And I'll take something cool. But it just seems weird to me that they have such a massive lack of space units.
Especially when there's some really good ones that could go in there. All right, let's move on. JJ, you've got the Maroon Aquaman. What in God's green earth is this list? I really don't even want to cover this list. Like, they're running, not only are they running IG-88, they're running a 24 health green base that gives you 2 battle droids.
As you should.
Yeah,
Lowest health
exactly.
base, lowest health leader.
Yeah. Now, I think there's a couple of cards like just shifted over that I absolutely can't see, but we'll get through this here. So we got IG-88 here with the droid manufacturing base here. That's the one that lets you create 2 battle droid tokens. Obviously, it's a synergy thing. You want to have as more units on your side in order to really trigger IG-88's ability. So let's get through this. We got 3 copies of Daring Raid, 3 Death Star Stormtroopers, 2 Guavian and aggressors, 2 General Tags, 3 Scanning Officers, 3 Seasoned Shore Troopers, 3 Snow Trooper Lieutenants, 2 First Legion Stormtroopers, 2 Ozels, 3 Super Laser Techs, 3 copies of the Phase 3 battle droids. We got 2 General Veers, 2 Grand Moff Tarkins, 3 Overwhelming Barrages, 2 Palpatine Returns, 3 Ruthless Raiders, 3 copies of Darth Vader, and 1 copy of Maul. And then on the sideboard, we got an additional First Legion Stormtrooper, Guavi Antagonizer, 3 Mando Fighters, 1 additional Tarkin, 2 Choose Sides, and then 2 Relentless on the sideboard there. Really interesting that this is a Empire heavy deck. You got a lot of great cheap units out there. You have a lot of good trooper units out on the board that General Tay can buff out there. On top of that, having that scanning officer on there in there as well allows you to take out those surprise smuggle cards there from your opponents. You're probably looking for those DL-44 blasters just to make sure that they don't come in and just wreck you on that side there. But yeah, you got a lot of great units out there in between the super laser techs that help you build up more resources. You can play a lot of these units out on the board, and the object of this is to just overwhelm your opponent with numbers so that we can take advantage of IG-88's ability, and then in a pinch you can use the droid manufactory to increase the number of units that you have out on the board, just so you can really go in there and deal additional damages. Even with a token, which is a 1/1 battle droid, you can use IG-88's ability to make it a 2/1 and still punch out a decent amount of damage out on the board there. So it's definitely really interesting. I like this a lot. I haven't seen an Empire version of IG-88 deck, but I like it. It looks pretty fun.
What are the missing cards, Alex?
You have triple resupply, which is interesting, and then double
To get
traders.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you got the resupply up there for Vader, basically, so you can play out the cheaper units when you ambush him in.
do you live that long with 24 health? That's what I want to know. Like, oh my gosh, I've got 3 Sentinels in this whole deck. Like, like you could run cell block guards, but you don't.
It also has 3 Ruthless Raiders as its only space units, which apparently just doesn't matter anymore, according to the last 3 decks that we've seen. No one cares about space. No one, just do whatever you want.
I do not understand this deck. I'm just gonna
Trooper synergy, just swing as fast and hard as you can, and then just auto lose to things like Hero Vigilance,
Super Laser Blast.
I mean, if you hit the point where they super laser blast you, you probably should have already lost.
Sam and Trinity, have you guys ever played against IG-88 or something like this?
Yeah, that was actually the first showcase we pulled. So we tried to build a deck with it, and it looks something like this. But there's a few things with this deck that I'm just not getting. Like, why not run ECL instead of droid manufactory? Though it does give the 2 droid buff in terms of trying to get those extra units out to do his ability. But I don't see why they're not running precision fire when over half the deck is troopers, and then be giving +2/+2 and saboteur on attack. Take out sentinels, take out shields, take in more base damage. And there's a lot of things that I'm like kind of questioning with this, like the space units. There's a lot of good space units like Black Sun Starfighter and stuff that I feel like they're not using just because they're not Imperial. And yeah, I'm not
I mean, you can run like the Outland TIE Fighters, right? That cost 2 and they give an experience to something that costs 3 or less, which is a majority of the deck and fits into the themes. But
I don't know. Well, that wraps up our Chaos of War. So essentially, if you're going into a PQ, you do not have to worry about this deck. I don't think anybody else is going to run this deck because JJ's not playing in a PQ. JJ, this is the deck you should have ran instead of Gar. Like, Christ's sake, man.
My gosh, the amount of blue I ran against, jeez.
I don't understand this deck. Anyway, so my prediction is there will be more Han and more Sabine, it seems. So we haven't seen a decrease in Han. We have taken Han red a little bit, which is a little bit surprising to me because it's a little bit more hand destruction / aggro. But I guess it probably could beat out a Quinlan Tarkin's out, right? Because you can ramp without that, and Quinlan can't ramp. So I don't know. I don't know. I think the bigger thing is when you're going into this weekend, look at what you prefer to play, and not Sabine, because Sabine should just be banned. Let's just get rid of Sabine. I'm sick of seeing Sabine. But I don't know. Like, I don't think there wasn't a big meta shift this weekend. I don't know about you guys. Did anybody else see a big meta shift that kind of feels like very outside of that Han Red being a little bit higher than we've seen before?
I mean, like, a little bit more of an increase in CADs. Obviously, because we just went over a couple of them, and they're still popping up. I mean, they're still really good. Especially against probably that IG-88 deck where half the units have 1 health. I don't know how that went through all those too. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of more of the same, but also like people are branching off into other colors for other leaders, and that's kind of cool. And then occasionally you'll see something random pop into like the top 8, like that blue Bo-Katan deck that like I don't even know anyone who even tried Bo-Katan in set 3. So that's kind of wild. Or like there's a Sabine green deck that's not running ECL. Just isn't, I guess. So yeah, just like there's a little bit of iterations everywhere. Nothing like crazy over the week.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up our Chaos of War. Thank you so much for joining us for that.